What's going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, GeoFucks. And I want to talk about the talking stage when it comes to these relationships, situationships. And in my personal opinion, the talking stage is basically where emotionally unavailable people, toxic people, dysfunctional people, narcissistic people, manipulators, users, and people who more than likely have no business being in a relationship get to play house. And what I mean by that is, what's the talking stage? The talking stage is when you're basically first getting to know a person that you are supposedly attracted to. So you're talking to them, trying to get to know them. You know, this is when you're texting each other, calling each other. You might even be going on a few dates. Or if you're dealing with someone who's emotionally unavailable, toxic, narcissistic, they don't call them dates. They call it, we're just hanging out. But when you look at the type of activities and the amount of emotional labor they're expecting you to do, these are dates. But you know, when you're dealing with folks that are toxic and narcissistic, here comes the, oh, we don't have any titles. Oh, it isn't like that. Even though y'all hanging out every day, y'all going out to eat, y'all going on trips, they texting you throughout the day, they tagging you in social media posts, they calling you. Yeah, that's the talking stage. That's what I mean by playing house with dysfunctional ass people. In my opinion, the talking stage is a huge waste of time because, again, more than likely nothing is going to ever come out of this. Now, let me be realistic and throw some positivity in there. This isn't always the case. Some people do find love, and sometimes people are able to move on from the talking stage into a full-blown relationship, you know? But in my experience, talking about my personal experience, the talking stage has been nothing but a waste of time. I mean, I spent 7 months in a talking stage, essentially, with no title that went nowhere. You know, and then I had another slight situation with someone who also pretty much wasted my time, but it wasn't as bad or nearly as detrimental as my first experience because I saw all the red flags and was like, yeah, I'm good, and moved on. And this is why I'm just kind of, when it comes to these relationships, situationships, I just sit back and be like, you know, for the most part, to me, it's a waste of time. You could be doing so many other things with your time than to be wasting it with someone who is emotionally unavailable. And I will be doing a video on that as well. Emotionally unavailable people kind of resemble narcissists in many ways because their behaviors are basically damn near the same. You know, again, a lot of this is directly related to trauma, abuse, and neglect that people have dealt with and was exposed to as children and continue to go through the same cycles, because these are just cycles. You know, these are generational curses that need to be broken. You know, somewhere down the line, we have to heal. We have to heal, because if we don't, you end up bleeding. And I'm not trying to be cliche and repeat quotes and shit that I see on the internet, but God, if it isn't the truth, you know, if you're not careful, you end up bleeding on people that didn't cut you, you know, because you got all this unchecked trauma. So you're literally bleeding on folks that didn't harm you, didn't do anything to you, didn't cause the original wound, but you mad at them and blah, 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 and you taking it out on folks. So other people end up becoming collateral damage, and that ain't cool. So yeah, the talking stage. You know, and I bring this up because I'm on Twitter, and I was looking at Twitter last night, and that's what was being talked about. And it was like, you know, basically, what is your opinion on the talking stage? And I kept it real. I just feel like the talking stage, in my personal opinion, is such a waste of time. It's basically people get to play house. You know, they don't want to have titles, but then they want to have all of this commitment and loyalty, and they don't want to be monogamous, but then they want to have that key person that they're always with or hanging out with. That's what gets me. You know, they don't want monogamy, they don't want commitment, they don't want titles. You know, I'm trying to find myself, I'm just going with the flow, well, we can see where this goes. All these bullshit ass excuses that they give you to waste your time and to use up your energy and to use up your emotional labor and whatever resources you have, because more than likely you're giving more than you're receiving in these situations. It's not 50-50, it's not even 60-40. It's more like 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 95-5, 98-2. 100% of the time, 110% of the time, you're always giving more than you're receiving. And again, if it's not being reciprocated, what is going on here? And this is why I'm going to keep on saying, as long as we live in a narcissistic, capitalistic society, relationships are transactional. You can't just be doing stuff and you're not getting anything out of it. Because again, you'll become drained, you'll become bitter and resentful because you realize you're wasting your time and being used. And next thing you know, you become narcissistic. You become emotionally unavailable. You become bitter. You start bleeding on other people who did nothing to you. I mean, it's really a sickness. It's like a damn virus. That shit just bounced from one person to the next. And you just end up with a bunch of fuck boys, fuck girls, fuck people. We got enough of that. We need to heal. That's my personal take on the talking stage. Let me know what you think in the comment box below when it comes to the talking stage. You know, do you like it? Is it successful? Is it bad? Is it negative? Let me know.